Lotty Whittingham from Metal Temple magazine. I'm at the Finnish Ambassador's residence in Kensington Palace Gardens with Mikko from the Von Hertzen Brothers.
How Prague is that? That's very Prague.
Very Prague.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, Mikko?
Oh, thank you for asking. We are doing really well. We have a short visit to the UK with a few shows and then doing a few days of press, but it's been going well. So far so good.
Yeah, about to say, how did doing interviews here come about? I'm sure this isn't the first time you've been asked that.
4 years back when we started working with Stars Aligned, our fourth album here in the UK, the Ambassador came to see us play at Jazz Cafe in Camden.
Right.
And they're very culturally inclined people, the Ambassador and his wife. So apparently what happened was that the label contacted them and asked if it would be possible to do this in the embassy. And there was something going on in the embassy, but then the Ambassador said, why don't you come over to the residence and we'll do it here. So here we are in Kensington Gardens.
In your humble abode.
In my humble abode. For a day.
If you don't mind me asking, why this particular location or the embassy?
Well, I think the main thing was just because we've been doing these interviews a lot at Supply and Farms, at their office.
Yeah.
And, the opportunity arose, and the blackbirds are singing in the garden here, and it's been very beautiful weather-wise. And, it's like one of those things that is, just something extra. Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it's luxurious here, and it's one of those buildings from early 1800s that were done for the royalty, and now it's leased by the government of Finland. Yeah.
That's to say, you were mentioning that. I'm care to sort of let our readers and listeners know a bit more about the history, because I'm sure they'd be interested.
Yeah, I'm not acquainted with the history of the building, but I know that it's owned by the royals.
Yes.
And it's on lease to the Finnish government. And the only reason that people like me get to come here is that the Ambassador is very much following what Finland has to offer culture-wise. So there's we came in the morning and there was a concert pianist rehearsing here. So there's a lot of they have all these people from Finland who come here and visit this place, and even overnight, they stay overnight here because they seem to have some quarters upstairs that people can kind of not ordinary people, but the people who matter. They can stay. Spend a night there.
Let's sort of touch upon the culture differences between the UK and
We are a small country,
Yeah.
We are a tiny little country, and only because of that, something like this is possible. A rock band.
Coming. Yeah, because that in the UK is just really, really unusual to us. Is that normal in Finland then, or?
Well, like I said, it's a small country, so whenever we tour abroad, we are in contact with the ambassadors and, people like that. Because there's the Finns that are living abroad, they also want to be notified when somebody's coming into town and playing.
Yeah.
They want to come and see, how the Finnish boys, how our boys are doing. So it's kind of cute.
That is really touching to hear that. Let's sort of touch upon your brand new album. I did listen to it and it was really, really awesome. Yeah. I'm a relatively new listener to the Von Hertzen Brothers. How different would you say it is to your previous material?
Well, this is album number 6 for us. So we've done a long journey to reach this point, and it differs a lot from the previous records in few places that for the first time we actually recorded this in a studio outside Finland. We recorded it in Vancouver.
Yes.
And so the equipment that we used were not our own, but from that studio itself. And also we did have a producer from Canada. Yes. That made a big difference with how the band sounds and how the songs are presented, how they sound, and what is how the core of the song is portrayed to people. So it will sound for a regular listener as a Von Hertzen Brothers album, but we do notice the difference, you know.
Sure.
And yeah.
If I remember rightly, this producer's worked with like Rage Against the Machine and quite a few big names.
Right. Lately with Biffy Clyro, actually.
Yeah, they did catch a hint of Biffy Clyro in the sound.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Biffys are one of the bands, recent bands that we really like, and we played a few times with them. So
yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, that was actually one of the reasons, because we like the Biffy albums, the recent ones, that we contacted Garth. Of course, we knew that he did Mother's Milk for Red Hot Chili Peppers and Rage Against the Machine's first album, so he has a back record of really cool albums. But but how he got chosen was just a thing of like feeling. We were feeling out a few different people, and then we just decided on him because he felt like he has something to offer for.
It says like your musical style. I did a bit of reading. Like you can't really pinpoint what exactly it's. Trying to get my words out right here. You can't. You know, there isn't.
You can't really pigeonhole us.
You can't. No, exactly. You can't pigeonhole it. Was that the intention originally when you started?
Well, yeah, we try to be like. If we talk about like a little bit more in depth about the whole, what it means to be a musician and what is the individuality of us, you know, and do we try to be something? Do we try to be a rock band or a pop band or a prog band?
Yeah.
We don't have any desire to somehow be related to a certain genre in a sense that it's we always think song first. You know, whatever the song is, we try to serve the song as well as we can. And the song might be a prog song, it might be a pop song, it might be a rock song, a folk song even. So it's just a thing that we tend to have all these influences because we listen to so many different styles of music. And also we are 3 songwriters, so it's not that, you know, there's one vision, that this is the vision that, you know, is the band. There are 3 guys, and whoever writes a song, you know, has a clear vision, and then everybody else try to kind of like, you know, support that vision.
Yes.
You know, in the best to the best of our abilities, and so the end result usually is that it's very diverse. Yeah.
I did notice that on the new album. Yeah. There's this track that I thought was really sort of suddenly out of the blue, this Beatles sounding one, Dreams, I think.
Yeah, Dreams. Yeah. It's true. I mean that song. We had something in mind when we were doing that song, and it was we were thinking, first of all, lightness. You know, it should be light because there's so like, it should be a little bit tongue in the cheek kind of thing. Like, I had in mind Seaside Rendezvous by Queen. Cool. And Guy had in mind, who wrote the song, he had in mind kind of Ringo Starr era, you know, the Ringo Starr songs of Beatles albums. And then the Tom Waits kind of piano, and then, you know, I don't know if you know a band called Jellyfish.
Jellyfish, that name does ring a bell.
Okay, well, anyway, it's one of our favorite bands, and they are kind of this weird pop band from early 90s. So we had this kind of like, you know, like the influences came from those directions, and then ended up being this song, which is very unlike any other Hertzen Brothers song.
It's just suddenly out of the blue.
I know.
Just that next to a like.
It was meant to be a little bit of a slap on the face, you know, like, come on, wake up.
Actually, the thing is, I was falling asleep on the train on the way up here, so yeah, that did wake me up. Yeah. So it did its job. It looks like you've got good. What's the reception from the press been like so far?
For this album, it's been, well, positive is to put it mildly.
Right.
It's been very, very, very good, and
fantastic.
And we are getting reviews from all over the world saying that, well, you know, what is this band, and you know, because we're like, let's face it, we are up to number 6, album number 6.
Of course.
But in most of the territories, we are considered as a newcomer.
Right. Yeah.
Because this is kind of like our first worldwide release.
I see. Right. It's like that's because. I was reading up the press release and you said you'd been around for a while. I thought, should I have known them by now then? They were just coming to light in the UK, I think.
Right, no, we did 3 albums locally in Finland.
Right.
And then the 4th album was released here in the UK by Spinefarm. And ever since we've been here with the same label, but now because Spinefarm became like a global label, quite recently, maybe 1.5 years back.
Yeah.
Now, this is the first album that is has like a proper distribution in the US and mainland Europe and all those places. So, yeah, so it's kind of funny that, we consider ourselves as like long-timers.
Yeah.
Like totally like almost has-beens already.
Veterans.
Veterans,
because you got a Greatest Hits album already, if I'm not mistaken.
We do, yeah.
Greatest
So, and then again, like some places they don't know how many albums we did, and so it's kind of funny.
But that's quite funny. I just want to ask one more question about the album, about the artwork. What's all the influences behind that? Because it looks like it's breaking free, and I sort of felt that in your music as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, 9 Lives, which was our previous album, we found out about this artist that we really liked. He gave an interview to a music magazine and saying that he listens to music while he paints. And he mentioned us as one of his favorite bands. So we contacted him, and 9 Lives cover was, one of the paintings that he had done. So we chose that painting to be the cover. And now when we started planning this album, we talked with him and we went to actually see his new style and new works, and then we kind of like came up with this idea together that, okay, let's have birds and chains and stuff and breaking free and all that.
Yeah.
And then he started just like sketching it out, and eventually, it was like a teamwork to have this painting done, but it was done by this amazing artist called Samuli Heimonen, who is you can Google him.
I'll Google him.
Yeah, but he is one of the like upcoming, or in Finland already established artists, but also starting to get like worldwide recognition because he's just very, very cool, and so I mean we wanted to have those colors on the cover, and we wanted to portray heaviness and lightness in the same picture, like wings and birds carrying heavy stuff, and trying to break them by pulling them. But the idea behind the painting is that all you have to do is to let go and the chains are falling, right?
Yeah, I totally get that.
No need to pull and struggle. Yeah.
No, it's just someone just let them go.
So there's a lot of meaning in it, and I personally think that it's one of his greatest.
That is fantastic. It just caught my eye, and I thought that's really. It's sort of maybe like letting go unwanted feelings in a way.
Exactly. It's kind of like I draw a line from that work to my own life. What it is to carry all that heaviness inside, and all those always struggling. The easiest thing is to just like fuck it, let go.
That's something my friend taught me as well, like just open your hands if you ever are feeling stressed, and it does work.
It does work.
And
you know what I do? I think
what's that?
I think always like this. That if there's something like in my heart that I want to get rid of,
I
pull it out like this. I take scissors and I cut it, and I just like get rid of it.
Yeah, oh my god.
It's like a mental thing that you can do.
I really like that idea. I really like. You did a few shows in the UK as well, if I'm not mistaken.
We did, yeah. Mainly the purpose of this trip is to just show our faces, because we do have the new album out, and we wanted to do a few shows for the media, just for the fans that have been long awaiting for us to come again.
Sure, yeah, but
and we wanted to do, well, there was a question whether we should do more regional shows this time. We decided against it because time-wise it's very tight for us now. We have a lot of work. So we did 3 shows, and then we have 2 days of press, and then we are coming back to play downloads next summer.
I saw that, yes.
Yeah.
And is there any sort of particular highlights being in the UK, like, or any weird stories?
Well, a few years back, we played High Voltage here in London.
Oh, High Voltage, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the last time that festival was organized.
That's
not because
right,
of us, because of something else.
No, of course.
And I remember, after playing that show, it was very well received, our performance. We went to this Hilton. We were staying in a Hilton, and when we got into the room, I opened the telly, and in the news was 2 things: Amy Winehouse had died.
Yes, that's right.
And this maniac had killed 70 people in Norway.
Yeah, I remember that day.
They were exactly the same time, and it was exactly that time when we played High Voltage. And it was somehow so freaky. That whole weekend was so freaky. I went to Portugal Road the next day just to have a walk and see what they had there, and I fainted on the ground. I was so exhausted because of everything. I don't know why. So it was a very weird weekend.
That sounds like a very weird. Were you hoping you? Well, of course you were all right now.
Yeah, I was all right. I was just like, there was
I mean, like, because you wouldn't.
I don't know if it was some kind of like weird constellation in the stars, what was going on, but it was like really, really
just suddenly
kind of dark.
Just suddenly everything goes black.
Yeah.
No, I think what else I've got. Because you started, if I remember rightly, your career started in about 2000, the year 2000?
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah, and now sort of like the start of the digital age where people were putting music in their back pockets rather than...
Right.
Sort of, how did that sort of impact you? Has that made things easier for you as you went on, or like particularly now with the boom in social media?
Well, I mean, of course. I mean, things are changing very, very rapidly, and it's hard to keep up with everything, and it seems like one of the main things for musicians nowadays is to do everything else than music. It's like social media, this and that, and streaming, and being there and doing like questions and answers online. You have to be completely and fully present there all the time.
Yeah.
In these different medias and these different outlets.
I get that.
And it's changed the game drastically.
Oh God, it has.
And my generation, who are like 40, they don't really get it. But for the kids of today, that's where everyone is, right? Mm. They are in Instagram and they're in Twitter and all that stuff. So it is different. It's very different from those days when we started.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's all bad.
No.
But I'm saying it's a challenge.
It is a challenge. Yeah, because I particularly like.
But at the same time, you can reach people all over the world instantly through these channels.
Yeah.
And that is cool. That's something you never had before.
If
you wanted to have somebody in Mexico hearing your music, you can have that like that. And now, whereas before, there was no chance you would ever get your stuff out there.
Yeah.
So, but it is a challenge. It has changed, and I think that especially for people like us who have been doing this for 20 plus years, even before we started this band, we were doing stuff with other bands. It is a little bit of a, you have to readjust your brain quite a bit to be able to get the full benefit of it,
There's all these different apps are coming out now as well.
And you never know. I mean, today this is a big thing, and then tomorrow that's already totally nobody follows that anymore. Like MySpace. MySpace is a good example.
I remember MySpace.
It was only 7 years ago, everyone was on MySpace.
Yeah, they were, weren't they?
And now there's not a single soul there anymore.
No, exactly.
I don't know if it even exists anymore.
No, that's because I don't know if it still exists either.
Yeah, so that was the main forum for bands that time.
I think Facebook is still going.
Facebook is now very strong still.
Yeah.
That too. I mean, in 5 years it might be just like completely
That's true.
disappear. Yeah.
That's very true. I'm not sure how much. I think may need to round up soon. Give you a bit of a
Yeah.
breathing room as well. Other than like your Finnish tour, you've got what are the plans for the rest of the year for Von Hertzen Brothers?
Well, 2015 we'll be touring most of the year.
Yeah.
I mean now we have a few weeks off when we're done here in the UK.
Yeah.
Festival season looks pretty promising. There's a lot of festivals that we are going to play. So summer we are going to be busy almost all the time, especially weekends.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I did see. It's like wow.
And then September we are looking for. I mean that's when we are starting to tour international tours.
Oh, cool.
And what it means we don't know yet. But we are going to definitely do more shows here in the UK.
Oh, fantastic.
And then we are going to do more shows in mainland Europe and hopefully, just show our faces in the US because
That'd be good.
we are just like starting over there and we need to go there and play to the people.
Yeah. Wonder if
Just to show what we are about. And
whether the location of the interviews would be.
it might, we might do this next time in Bel Air, in Los Angeles.
Those are all big houses.
That's where our ambassador lives. Right, Virpi? Bel Air. Bel Air is where the ambassador lives in the States. No?
No, Bel Air is the LA
Consulate.
General Consulate.
Consulate.
It's
Okay.
in Bel Air.
Well, anyway.
It's in Washington, I think. Yeah, Ambassador.
Okay. Well, anyway, I like Bel Air better.
Bella, the Fresh Prince of Bel. That's what I immediately think of when I hear Bella.
Yeah, but it's the reviews have been so very good that I think that it's going to be a busy year for us anyway.
Yeah, it's nice to be busy. Well, thank you, Mikko. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
That's